So let's imagine I have a square container here. Actually, let's make it three-dimensional. It's a cube, but we're just looking at it from a square point of view. And I throw a bunch of excess charge in here. As we've discussed in another video, excess charge. So as I've discussed in another video, if I throw a bunch, let's make them electrons. I throw a bunch of electrons here, the electrons will start to spread out. As a matter of fact, if this is a conductor, the electrons will spread out and they'll move all around the sides. But let's talk about how they concentrate there. So let's sort of zoom in on this section right here. So I've got a little flat spot and I got a bunch of electrons right here. Well, they're going to be on the outside because they're being pushed by electrons from all other sides. But here, if I look at it, this one is being pushed that way by this electron, being pushed that way by that one, being pushed that way. And then I have electrons over here, which are pushing them back on the other side. And it's going to come down to, if I have the electron here, then I have more electrons pushing it this way than I have pushing them back that way. So this electron is going to be sort of forced back into that corner right there. Same as over here. I'm going to have these going to be forced more in that direction. Now it won't be forced all the way, but it'd be pushed in that direction if they're evenly distributed here. And what you end up with is, yeah, you will have some electrons here in the middle, but they tend to get pushed off more towards the side. And you get a higher concentration when you have an internal angle that's less than 180 degrees. Matter of fact, the sharper the corner here, the more concentration you're going to get. So what you would end up with is you'd have a bunch of electrons in the corner here, and then they'd spread out some, and then you have a bunch of them in the corner, and then they spread out, and then a bunch more in the corner, then they spread out, and then a bunch in the corner, and they spread out. So you have a higher concentration of electrons in the sharp corners there. Now if I have something shaped like that, then wherever I've got the sharpest internal angles, which looks like right about there, that's where I'd have the highest concentration. This is where I'd have the lowest concentration right here. And probably something like that. And probably a little bit less, you wouldn't have many here or here. And you'd have more here, here. Probably that would be third and that would be fourth right there. And so for something in electrostatic equilibrium, you'll have a higher concentration in the sharp internal corners.